Audio Jungle.
Well, it was my own personal transformation journey. I've shared this often, but I was really sick and I was struggling with my physical, mental, emotional health in 2017. And it was through the discovery of functional medicine and functional nutrition that I really could transform my own health. During my personal transformation, I realized that there were a lot of people, my own family and friends, who were also struggling. And I felt that if I had learned something, it was my responsibility to offer that help to them. And it just happened very organically. I started doing this for other people, and suddenly in 2019 there was a company called ithrive with this vision of wanting to create healthier, happier, lifestyle disease free communities across the world every single day. So here is the thing, right? Our health is made up of the environment we live in. So we have genes that we receive from our parents, and genes have information for both health and disease. But whether we are going to express good health or whether we are going to express disease depends on the environment that's triggering either of these. Now, out of all of these factors, food plays the biggest role. Food and nutrition, because nutrition is the study of food and how it impacts the body. So food is something we consume in large volumes. If anything has a overwhelmingly negative or positive effect on our health, it's food and nutrition by that virtue. So that's why nutrition plays such a big role in transforming anyone's health. In fact, when we work with clients one-on-one, 80% of our work is based on food, right? Like just correcting food habits, making sure people are receiving bio-individual nutrition, which means that nutrition that is specifically tailored to their body's needs. We do focus on supplementation, we do focus on other lifestyle interventions like circadian rhythm management, water consumption, sunlight exposure, even practices like meditation, gratitude journaling. So these comprise maybe of 20% of the work, 80% is still food, and that is the mix that food has in terms of playing a role with your health. Food is the most important factor that can have a direct repercussion on your health. So that's why the study of nutrition is important. That's why understanding your own nutrition needs is important, and that's why eating as per your nutritional requirement, whether you're going to eat seasonal local food, whether you're going to eat vegan or carnivore or animal based, entirely depends on what your body needs in terms of nutrition. So we always start with physical. Now, a lot of people say holistic health is physical, mental, emotional and soul, right? Like you all have all of these icons and drawings and everything. But the foundation for everything is your physical health. So if I had to give you an analogy, it's like a house. Now, if your house has broken pipes, like the plumbing is broken, it's infested with bed bugs and termites and cockroaches and ants, the paint is peeling off, it's very dusty. Even if you are the best architect or the most creative interior designer, in a house like that, you would not be able to unleash your creative talent because you would have to first fix all those broken things. It's the same thing with your body. So you could be like a really smart person, or you could be a really creative person, or you could be emotionally very grounded, which is hard if you don't have a well-functioning body, but let's say you could. If your body is not functioning well, it's literally like that broken down house where you're trying to do something. Or another analogy is like a car. You could be the most amazing driver, you could be like a Formula 1 driver, but you were given a car that just doesn't have enough fuel, its battery is not working, its lights are all blaring on the dashboard, and one of the tires is punctured. Could you drive a car like that? No. So the foundation for anyone's health starts with the physical. Once that foundation, once the house is cleaned up and beautified, once the car is like really well functioning, then you can practice your actual skills, which is how good are you a driver, how great are you as an interior designer. It's the same analogy with the body and the mind and with your emotions. Okay, so physical is the foundation. Then when we go to the mental, we look at the mind in terms of the mental frameworks it has, the belief systems it has, the core belief systems it has, the kind of memories it holds, the associations it has with those different memories, and we start looking at which of those are really serving your purpose and which of those are getting in the way of your happiness and joy. When we speak of emotions, believe me, humans are meant to be happy. Okay, we are not meant to be sad, anxious, depressed. beings. I mean, those feelings come and go. Take it from me, I've actually struggled with clinical depression for quite a large part of my life, but that's not our true nature. Yet these things happen to us. Yet we feel like this. We feel overwhelmed, we feel angry, we have these emotional outbursts. So when we start working with someone's emotional health, assuming the physical and the mental aspect is taken care of, we start looking at what is the emotional vocabulary somebody has. Do they even have the toolkit to express the right emotion at the right point of time? Do they have the right kind of boundaries in place? Where is the anger coming from? What is the sadness coming from? How much of it is from past trauma? How much of it is stored in the body? So it's a very multi-layered healing process, but the beginning always is in the body. I do not work with someone on their mental emotional health unless they are willing to do the work of taking care of their physical body, because you could have a simple vitamin D deficiency and you might be feeling very low and your mood might just be like very off. You could go to a clinical, maybe psychologist, psychiatrist. You might get diagnosed with depression when in fact the root cause is a vitamin D deficiency, which could be so easily fixed with a lot of sunlight exposure and maybe a vitamin D supplement. That's why the physical is the first always. Oh, there are so many. How can I just pick one? But where do I start? There are just too many for me to recount. But like one recent one was, I just asked in my community of clients, we call it the ithrive tribe, like how did ithrive's work really help them shift their life? And I heard back from an entrepreneur who said that because his physical health was so great now, because his energy levels were up, because he felt so mentally stable. In fact, how he ran his team, he was an entrepreneur, he has a big team, because how he ran his team and what the kind of work he did, the culture of his organization, that had completely transformed. There was another client whom I had worked with one-on-one. As his physical health transformed, he actually went and reached out for his lifelong dream of owning a farm, creating a complete organic farm, creating a retreat there. He could do that because he was so sick at the beginning. All he could do was just basically get through the day, and then this completely transitioned. I've had stories of people who had no energy to just get through the day, now doing treks and ultra marathons and cycling events. People have really transformed not just their own lives but actually the community around them, because this is what healing is all about. When one person heals, you start creating ripples of healing around you, which means everyone gets affected by those positive aspects of your own life. And look at me, my personal journey of like being horribly constipated and suicidal at the same time has, like, because I transformed and I healed, now there's an ithrive that's healing so many other people. So it's incredible what happens when you start healing yourself. Many, but a few that like I could make tangible for you guys. One has been meditation. Like I rarely miss meditating, because what meditation does for me is, one, it helps me connect to something higher than me, a greater power, a greater source. You could call it God, you could call it the universe, the divine, whatever label you want to give it, but I really connect to a higher power when I meditate. And in that process, what happens is, whatever clutter is there in my mind, like, it's not as if this is not stress free, right? There is chaos when you're an entrepreneur, when you're building a business. But that practice of meditating, just taking some time to, just go inwards and see everything, it helps me declutter and just see things a little more objectively. The other thing that helped me immensely is last year I did a lot of embodiment work, which means I did a lot of shadow work. I went into my traumas, I went into the darker aspects of my mind, and I saw how I could only be creating the problems and the messes in my life. So that embodied awakening, that was the name of the program, but just that work helped. There have been times in the last 2 years when I've sought out the help of a therapist when things got a little too chaotic for me to deal with. Life events, life situations, like my daughter's thing. So I needed to talk to a therapist on a regular basis, just so that I could get a mirror to reflect what was going on. I really do take care of my physical health. I eat clean as much as possible. I went off track for a year, but I'm back on track now. I move as much as I can. So yoga, workouts, I hike up the mountain. And this is something that's a little nuanced, but I think this is what has really given me more and more strength, having really good boundaries. So communicating what is okay for me and what is not okay, telling people that the ones who understand my boundaries are the ones who continue to stay in my life. The ones who don't get it, I've kind of actually moved on from them. This preserves my energy, and this kind of makes my life drama free. And I'm just a very honest person, so just communicating whatever's going on really helps me. I don't have to think of what I have to cover up, and I don't have to think of who I told what. Everybody knows everything. So I think that I think is like the single biggest tool, that just tell whatever it is, and you don't have that extra stress of carrying everything around in your head. So ETHE stands for embracing the human experience, and I agree it is a very, very powerful concept. Actually, it emerged, like I said, the last 1 year I did a lot of work on embodiment practices, going into my traumas, and I kind of started figuring out what does it really mean to be a human, because I think that's the most confusing thing for all of us. Like, okay, I'm a human being, but what the hell am I supposed to do with this life, right? Most people don't, I didn't know what it meant to be a human, that all these emotions come and go, there are so many people, and all people have their own ideas and opinions, and what am I supposed to do with that? How do I live my life? Society tells me one thing, I want to do something else, parents are telling me something. So much of that happens, and actually none of us really truly understand what it means to be a human, or how to live this human experience. So this Embracing the Human Experience program was created to help other people out, based on my own journey of uncovering what it means to embrace the human experience. And it's an invite-only program. Not everybody is ready for it, but how we do it is we look at it both from the past, present, from three perspectives: the past, present, and the future. So the present is where you are at. Maybe you're confused, maybe you're struggling, maybe you're tired, maybe you're just like, you're done with it and you don't want to come back here again another time. That's your present. Or maybe you're just really happy in life. In that case, you wouldn't come to me for this work. The past is stuff that has happened to you before that has brought you to this present moment, right? Like traumas could have happened, major disasters could have happened, things could have gone really horribly wrong, some things could have gone well. Whatever it is, your past has brought you to your present moment. The goal of that ETHE program is to take you to a future of your choice, right? So create a future vision that is something that really inspires you, that energizes you, that pulls you forward into a life that you're so happy about living, that you're grateful for. You're like, wow, I actually get to be a human in this lifetime. That is the work of the ETHE program. So we use different things. So I do this with ithrive CEO Avinash. We use a lot of, there's a lot of talk therapy, of course. Then there are practices which include movement practices, there are breathwork practices, there are a lot of recorded meditations. I've made these meditations on my own. Sumit from the team has helped me with the music. So breathwork, movement, meditation, and of course theory. So there's a lot of teaching about like what is trauma, for example, what are triggers, core beliefs, what are they, where do they form. So every time a theory is taught, then there are movement, breathwork, and meditation practices that align with it. And over a 12-week journey, we kind of bring about a transformation that anyway was within you. It just needed the right keys to unlock it. So that's all the ETHE program is all about. Start with food. Because that's like the first step, okay? And why do I say that's the first step? Because your relationship with food actually tells us a lot about how you're relating to other things in the world. A lot of people use food as their emotional backup system. I did that myself. That's how I got to 97 kgs. So the more you clean up what you're eating and your relationship with food, the more a lot of other things will start cleaning up. So eat, like what to eat? Good clean protein, animal based is preferred. If you're eating carbs, then eat seasonal, organic carbohydrates. Fats, I always recommend ghee and butter and coconut oil, no seed oils at all. So food is step number one. Second, get moving. Okay, so this is something even I had forgotten in the last year and a half with like iThrive's growth. I was mostly sedentary, but the more we move, the happier our bodies are. Movement can be walks, it can be anything, like you're just walking around in the office also, you're maybe jumping, you're going for a trek, you're skipping, could be anything. Third, meditate. Make it an everyday practice. It is vital for your mind to calm down. Like how we sleep when our bodies are tired, meditation is literally that reset button that you could offer to your mind so that you can calm down. Fourth, get sun into your body as much as possible. So wake up and see the sunrise. In the afternoon, spend some time in the sun. Watch sunsets. This sun that we have on our planet is one of our key regulators in terms of our overall health. So get as much sunlight exposure as possible. And 5, ground yourselves every day. When I say grounding, this is basically putting your feet without footwear on bare earth. So grass, wet grass is great. Bare earth is great. Concrete also actually helps in grounding. Wherever you can, just put your feet, and as much time as you can. There's no limit for how much you should be grounding. At least 5 to 10 minutes every day, if not more. So grounding, sunlight exposure, eating clean, movement, and water. Drink enough water that's filtered but maybe remineralized with some electrolytes like magnesium and salt. And I think you should be sorted for health. When your health starts changing, you will automatically start creating a positive impact in the people around you. So this I've seen like innumerable times, and I know it will happen. I can guarantee if your health transforms, your life around you will transform.